Hey guys, Zach Physiotherapist here, just giving you another educational video today. Today's topic of discussion is post-pregnancy / new mums aches and pains that's very common for them to present to us physiotherapists with. I'm going to talk about three areas today. I'm going to talk about the wrists, the shoulder and the lower back. Now these are the most commonly common areas that you get issues post-pregnancy and then when you have your new child. Often it's related to lifting of the new child and placing them in the crate and all that sort of stuff. But I'm just going to give you a little bit of information about how to avoid developing these problems, and hopefully it will make you less painful when you're dealing with your child. So first, starting off the wrist, it's very common for new mums to get what's called vena de Quervain and tenosynovitis, which essentially is just a fluid that builds up in the tendon sheath, and the tendons that particularly run through here, the top part of the thumb. And it presents due to doing a lot of this movement here when lifting your new child. You can also, it's also very common for this to happen with parents of toddlers that are still lifting and then not lifting correctly. But essentially, excessive movement doing that when lifting is what can cause that. You can also have issues where you get either stiff through your thumb or your wrist bones, and those joints can stiffen up, which can put more pressure on the tendons, and that doesn't help when it comes to this condition. Second area is the shoulder. So it's really common for people to come in with anterior or front shoulder pain due to long-headed biceps irritation or tendinopathy development. Basically due to the way that they're holding the new child, we tend to put our shoulder forward and we contract our biceps, and that puts over time that puts a lot of pressure on the front of that shoulder. It's obviously worse if you're trying to carry two children, but if you're holding just one and you favor one arm all the time, that is how commonly that tendon gets irritated, or it over time starts to break down. Obviously with lower back pain, now with pregnancy you get the release of all the hormones during pregnancy in last trimester leading up to birth that make your joints just a bit more lax than usual. Now with lower back pain, obviously you can have the pain due to the too much movement, the hypermobility due to the laxity, but you also have a lot of bending related issues. They bend while holding, feeding, bending to put the baby back into the crate to put it to sleep, that sort of stuff as well. So lower back pain, although it's a very common part of life, it can be avoided or not. It can be lessened to the point where you are more comfortable. In order to avoid these problems, it's very important that when you're holding and picking up your child, that to avoid the wrist issues, you keep a nice sturdy hand and your wrist in a neutral position, and you're not doing that too much while lifting your child. For the shoulder stuff, it's really about making sure your shoulders are as far back as you can while you're sitting comfortably and feeding, alternating sides to make sure that you're not overly favoring one side. That's very important. And with the lower back stuff, it's really about, depending on what is causing your lower back pain, making sure that you're doing correct bending habits. You're bending at the knees. If you have a toddler that's walking, you're not still bending over completely at the back and lifting up like that. You need to bend more at the knees and lift using your quads and hip muscles, okay? That is the most important part. And it's just going to be finding what's comfortable for you when you're bending over and putting your newborn to bed, obviously in the crate. Okay guys, I hope you learned something today, and if you have any aches and pains due to pregnancy related stuff, make sure you come in and see us and get that sorted, because you do not need to live in pain due to that.